Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here, and today we're doing our whipping chat, so get out whatever it is you're working on and work along with me. Today I am still working on Tatiana. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. Don't come at me. Is Titania, I believe is it Titania? Titania and Oberon? From the Cheryl Burke collection. No, I have not worked on this since the last time you seen me. No, I'm not in any rush to get it finished or anything. This is a massive painting, so I'm not really caring. So yes, as you probably have already saw, I took a little break from YouTube. It was getting to be a little bit overwhelming while I was dealing with my emotions from my daughter leaving. So as you guys know, if you're watching this video whenever I put it up or whenever, Minna just left earlier last week. She left Monday last week, and then Mr. Coffee returned on Friday. And today we are going to be joined by Mr. Coffee. So say hi, Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Coffee.
Mr. Coffee says hi. So, I decided to do my whipping chat. I am back from my little mini vacation. So a couple of things before we get started here. One, I was asked to talk about my bipolar disorder. So there is going to be a little bit of a trigger warning on this video just because I know, I don't know about anybody else, but I get a little defensive when it comes to talking about my mental health because technically it's nobody's business but my own. But since, you know, you guys are like family to me, I don't mind explaining a couple of things to you. But there are parts of my life that I do like to keep private, no matter how much people think that just because I'm on YouTube, that means I have to give it my full attention all day, every day. So, yes. So please do not grill me or psychoanalyze what I'm saying. This is just me informing you of how I deal with things and how I was diagnosed and what have you. The reason why Mr. Coffee is here is one, because he's still off on his days off. Two, is because he's going to answer some questions that I have that I'm going to guess that I would get from subscribers when talking about my mental health. Seeing as how he's the one that deals with it with me and has to go through all the emotions with me because, you know, he's my husband. So he gets the, unfortunately, the brunt end of all the whatever. So, yeah. So there's that. It's been a very weird morning. I'll talk about that later on. Before we get started, yes, I do have new nails on. Now, you probably saw yesterday's video and was like, hold up, did you just change your nails again? No, yesterday's video was actually recorded last week. What happened was, I did not intend on stopping making videos for last week. But because of the amount of messages I was getting overwhelmed. I had asked for space, and apparently that meant people continuously messaging me. Some of it wasn't craft related. Some of it was just people checking in on me, and where I do appreciate that. And I know you guys were a little worried. There was nothing really to be worried about. A lot of the times when I get depressed or upset about something, I kind of go off onto my own space. Like, I just need space. I need time to collect my thoughts. Sorry, I'm trying to get my wax in the pen. I just filled it with the patty wax, and it's like doing that thing at the beginning where it's like leaking everywhere. So yeah, it's driving me nuts. So yeah, so I just needed a little bit of space, and I wasn't getting the space I was asking for, so I just decided not to put up any videos or anything, because then I was hoping that it would stop people consistently messaging me. And I've never gotten so many messages in my entire life. Like, I've been on YouTube now for 2 years. I asked for space, and in one day I had gotten 75 messages. And a lot of them were just asking about videos, asking where I got stuff in videos. And if you guys want to know about stuff in the videos, I try to be good at linking stuff. So if you ever have a question about something in the video that you see that you don't happen to see linked, you know, leave a message on that video so I know what video you're talking about. Because a lot of times people will say, hey, Miss Coffee, I watched one of your videos, and I'm thinking, I have over 700 videos. Which one did you watch? Like, I don't know. So you have to let me know about that. But yeah, and then I got a lot of hate from people stating that they didn't think I deserved a break and all this. It doesn't matter. Either way, I took a break and essentially turned off all my notifications. And if you are one of the people that did message and got a really nasty response, I do apologize. Again, I was trying to ask for space to avoid that. Now, when I get into, I'm a very self-aware person. When I get into a state of depression, I know I'm in a state of depression, and any and every little thing will set me off, and I will get nasty with you real quick. And unfortunately, a couple of people were on the other end of that, and I do apologize, but like I said, I just needed space. And a lot of the messages I got were, I loved your whipping chat. I totally agree that you should have space. And I'm like, but you messaged me. I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't irritated, because I was, because a lot of the questions that I got was stuff that was answered in the videos that people were asking me about, or they just wanted to chit chat. And I'm like, I'm really not in the mood to talk. And for some reason, people have this absurd notion that just because you do YouTube videos, that means you're not allowed to have any personal time or space, because this is the life you chose. This is the life I chose, but I do still expect to have a personal life. So there's that. So let's talk about what happened. So I go through a whole box of emotions. It's like a glass box of emotions whenever Minna leaves. Because not only am I controlling my own emotions, I have the emotion of the kids going on. I have upset dogs because Mr. Coffee was gone. So trying to deal with all that, and then being constantly messaged over and over and over again, was what got me to the point where I was like, okay, I'm just not going to put up any videos. Now, I've never done that in the 2 years that I've been on YouTube, but it was getting a little excessive. The amount of people that were messaging me for absolutely no reason at all than just to chit chat. And where I usually don't have a problem talking to my subscribers, during times like that where if I actually ask you for space, the best thing that you can do for me is actually give me the space. Give me time to get my head together, because at that time my head is not together and I'm going through what is called a manic episode. And this is where the talk about my mental health comes in. So, for those of you who are new, hi, welcome. I'm Miss Coffee. I am bipolar type 1. Now, what's the difference between type 1 and type 2? I don't know. I did research on it a long time ago, and the episodes that you have aren't as long, I think, with bipolar type 2 as they are with type 1. I can be manic for days, meaning I can have hyperactivity for days. It also causes extreme insomnia. So if you've ever been on Instagram or on Facebook and you see me post stuff when it's like super late my time, it's probably because I have insomnia. Now, I do have pills that are supposed to help me sleep, and they do help me sleep in the aspect of I'm not as a light sleeper as I used to be. I've always been a light sleeper, and now with the sleeping meds that they have me on, I don't sleep as light. And I don't get up as often in the middle of the night, which is great because I'm actually, like, getting sleep. The bad thing is I worry because if there was an emergency or something that happened and Mr. Coffee's not here and I don't hear it, like, that's my major concern. That's also another perk of having the bipolar type 1 is that you're overly paranoid about every and any little thing. You could, like, one of the other reasons why I asked for space is because Mr. Coffee was gone. I don't do well with Mr. Coffee gone, and I don't know if he would agree, but he's not at his best when I'm not around him either. Like, we can function without each other, but we don't like being apart too much for the most part. At least I don't like being apart from him. I can't speak for him. He can speak for himself. But, so I don't do well when Mr. Coffee's not here, and he's kind of like my medication for my bipolar disorder because I can talk to him, I feel like I'm not alone, and I don't get as depressed. Depression is another symptom of bipolar disorder. Now, I'm not sure how they can tell which is type 1, type 2, blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of similarities and differences between type 1 and type 2. To me, it's just a disorder. It's you not being able to control your emotions and then when you do have certain emotions, they're over the top. So a lot of you say, you love my unboxings because, I get so super excited. That is a manic state. That is me being super excited for a long extended period of time. And I can get excited over the littlest things. You could have just got me a new set of nails or something, or a lot of times, like, when Mr. Coffee randomly brings me home, like, treats and stuff from the store whenever he comes home from work just to say, hey, I thought about you, I bought you some candy or something. I will be excited about that one treat for hours. I would have already finished the treat, but I would have been excited at the fact that, oh, he thought about me, and then my brain goes to all these different places. he thought about me. I was on his mind when he was gone. He, you know, he doesn't often bring me stuff. So when he does, it's like a whole event in my head. I'm over the top, just like with, hold on, I'm trying to find my next symbol here. Just like with the kids and how overly protective I am of my kids. I don't let just anybody watch my kids. I don't let just anybody around my kids. I'm very overprotective of my children, which that could just be a most parents thing, because I think most parents are overprotective of their kids. At least the good ones are. Like, not saying that somebody's bad if they're not overly protective, but most parents are protective of their children. Just imagine your protection of your children and then times that times 2 or 3, and then that's me. Like the fact that we're quarantined. Now, me and Orion are high risk because we both have asthma. So if I can avoid getting him out of the house, I do. That if that means waiting all day for Mr. Coffee to get off work to buy stuff for us from the store, definitely would do that, just so he doesn't have to go out. Now, me going out to get stuff is different than him going out, because, you know, we all have masks and everything else, but I worry about him getting sick versus myself. I don't worry about myself too often. I worry a lot about other people around me. So it's hard trying to deal with that and have a channel, because, well, at this point, I've gotten used to, like, hate comments. I will get every week I get some kind of hate comment, especially since the Black Lives Matter movement happened. Every week, every freaking week, I'm getting something from somebody. Oh, well, that, you know, it's this, it's that, and I'm just kind of like, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. Like, just leave me alone. Anyways, so my depression, bipolar disorder, I was diagnosed when I was about 16 or 17. I'm not exactly sure the year that I was diagnosed, but then I was re-diagnosed again when I was, I want to say 23. And I thought I just had baby blues because, as you guys know, Minna was about 2 years old when I got re-diagnosed. And I wasn't the happiest, but then again, I was in a relationship that wasn't good for me. And so I got out of that relationship and went to Mr. Coffee. I've been with Mr. Coffee for 11 years. I think it's, yes, a while. I've been with Mr. Coffee. Sorry, the patio wax is literally stealing, like, I don't know if you can, okay, you gotta focus on it. It's literally, like, stealing my drills. It doesn't want to let them go. They're, like, getting stuck in there. But, I've been with Mr. Coffee ever since. Now, when I was with Minna's dad, I couldn't control my emotions, and I would, like, go over the top, and I didn't know what was wrong with me until I got diagnosed, and they were like, yes, you know, it's pretty severe, and they put me on medication for a while. Now, I was on medication for probably a year when I decided that I no longer wanted to take medication. I also had to file with the state that I was unable to work, and I don't want to say disability because I'm not disabled. In my mind, disabled means I can't do stuff that I'm supposed to be regularly able to do. Like, to me, disabled is if you have, like, a back injury, if you have hip issues, if you have leg issues, if, you know, mental health. My mental health, I don't see as a disability. Where it does affect how I interact with people. Essentially, it's like the state saying, yeah, we would rather you just not go to work and get fired over and over again because you can't talk to people. I'm not good at talking. Not like that anyways. So, shut up. Mr. Coffee's over here laughing at me.
If my back gets jacked up, I could be disabled.
You are disabled because that's your...
You can't be disabled for being off the deep end.
I'm not off the deep end all the time, though.
Just because you're sniffing the bottom of the pool or floating around halfway, you still ain't out of the water.
Yo, somebody come get Mr. Coffee for real.
And you tricked me.
What do you mean I tricked you?
I had some way more interesting ideas when you said whip and chat.
Okay, this is... Okay. Y'all, don't mind Mr. Coffee. Y'all know he ain't right. So yeah, when it comes to, like, medication, I was on medication for the longest time. I decided it was best for me to not be on the medication. Being on the medication was...
Are you a doctor?
Yeah, no, I'm not a doctor. I just have an old-timey doctor dad. anyways, being on the medication made me feel like a zombie. I felt like I was watching myself do stuff, but there was no enjoyment, there was no happiness, there was no smiling, there was just literally, you would imagine yourself as a spirit watching yourself go through life in very slow motion, and you're just like, you know, it's like the Ben Stein condition. Like, there's just no emotion to anything you do. You're just like, yay, look, I'm diamond painting. Yay, look, I'm doing this. The medicine I was on was called lithium. It mellows you out, but it mellows you out to the point where you literally don't care or have any kind of emotions at all. I want to still be able to have emotions, but not in such a drastic way. Like right now, I can be sitting here, I can be upset about something and just fly off the deep end about it. And then 2 seconds later be like, all right, what do you guys want for dinner? Like, I can literally, and I do this all the time with Mr. Coffee.
I believe that's called a case of ghosts.
It's not called a case of ghost. But I do this all the time with Mr. Coffee, where I will be super mad at him for something. It can be something stupid, like, let me find an example. Just like right before we started, last night when we had dinner, I put the dinner in the oven. And he was like, yeah, I put it in the fridge because you can't just leave food out like that. In my brain, I took that as him scolding me, and I wanted to snap out. And I had to go, no, he's just telling you that you can't leave it out. Calm down. Now, shut up, Mr. Coffee.
Well, I was going to say earlier, like, used to work in food service, but I also learned something else about that last night, so...
What? What?
Your time spent in food service was...
short-lived?
Interesting.
It was interesting. I did work at one time. I've had numerous jobs, and none of them did I get fired for my attitude. Most of them I got fired because I either quit or because I was pregnant. When I was pregnant with Orion, what?
Most of the time I got fired because I was pregnant.
Well, no. Okay. So when I was pregnant with Orion, I worked at Macy's. Well, I had gotten severely, like, huge, real fast with Orion. Like, I gained so much weight with Orion, I looked like the Michelin Man. And I worked jewelry counter, which meant I was on my feet for 8 to 9 hours a day. And then I would have to drive home about 45 minutes. Well, it got to the point where I would have to sit in our break room for about half an hour after my shift with my feet up because my feet would get so swollen I couldn't walk. So I literally, I'm not even joking, y'all, I had the doctor write a prescription for a chair. A chair. Yep, a chair. I had the doctor write me a prescription for a chair. I took it into work, like, you know, and I took it in with a straight face too. Like, you ever get a prescription for something really stupid, but you have to have a straight face when you give it to people because it's serious? Yeah, that was one of those moments where I was just like, okay, I'm literally handing over a prescription, and the prescription card literally says chair, and I made my doctor sign this. Okay, it is what it is. I hand it to my manager, and my manager says, no, they won't allow me to have a chair. I'm either going to have to just work through all the pain and the swelling that I was going through, or I would end up being terminated. So I chose to leave because I couldn't deal with standing up. And then they shortly after that, they put me on bed rest. So,
which that, looking back, was a really bad idea. You could have just fought, used the damn chair, had them fire you, and then gone against them for it.
At that time, my brain was not functioning correctly. The hamster was there, but he wasn't running on the wheel. So, I didn't really care about them or their chair. And so I lost that job because I couldn't sit on the chair. And then when I was pregnant with Minna, I worked at Target. But I was an overnight stock person. I was an overnight stock person for 3 months. And then I found out I was 4 months pregnant with Minna. I never showed with Minna until I was like 7 or 8 months. And they essentially told me that if I can't lift the boxes without assistance, that I couldn't work for them anymore. So then they fired me. But I've had a number of jobs, and the bipolar disorder comes into effect where it does affect my everyday life. It affects how, like, I run my family. It affects how I interact with my family, how I interact with the kids. I can get Like, I literally will have to take a step back, because when I get angry, it can be over the stupidest thing, but I will be angry and hold a grudge for you for being angry for a very, very long time. And so when the kids do stuff wrong, like when Maggie gets into stuff, or she's being, like, you know, mischievous and, you know, not wanting to listen and stuff, I have to take a step back, or I will overreact to the situation. And it's one of the reasons why I am quick to say sorry, because I had to learn how to say sorry very quickly, because there are times where I essentially step out of myself and I can't help what's going on. I see it happening. I'm yelling no in my head, but I'm still doing it. And there's times where, like, if you get a message from me or something, and I retract the message and then write you another message, it's usually because I feel like, okay, this can be viewed the wrong way. I'm going to rewrite this message because I don't want to come off as being nasty or rude. So I will rewrite the message. I do it to Becky, like, all the time. I don't think she knows it, but yeah, she'll notice that I'll, like, delete messages, and she'll be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. I get paranoid because I don't want to hurt her feelings or upset her or anybody else. So I'll get super paranoid about it and then delete it and rewrite a message. Essentially, I have episodes of mania all day, every day. It's just how I choose to respond to it. I don't know what it's like for Mr. Coffee, because for me, my paranoia takes over everything, so I don't really, it's not really one of those things where I'm like, okay, put the shoe on the other foot, how would I feel if I did this to me? It's more so, why is this man still here? He must be insane. We have been through so much crap in the last 11 years that literally every time something happens, I'm like, yep, this is the time he's leaving. This is the time. And he tells me all the time, I ain't going nowhere. And I told him, you have 10 years to leave. Literally. Okay, we're off the subject story. So I was scrolling Facebook the other day, and I seen this lady, this news article, that this 75-year-old couple were getting divorced after 50 years of marriage. And I'm like, what happened at 75? You're like, nah, I'm done. Apparently they were bored with each other, and they just decided to get divorced because they were bored. And I'm like, nah, you dying tomorrow anyways. You'll be just fine. We in this together forever. And I told Mr. Coffee, you know, I don't want to be one of these women that is with somebody for years and years and gives my best to that person, and then they up and leave me to trade me in for a younger model. That's not happening. So I get super paranoid about when things happen. I try not to let that affect how I react to things, but like I said, it's a work in progress, and a lot of the times where I try not to let it affect me, it does affect me. So anytime I upset him, anytime, and I used to do the, you know, are you gonna leave me? Are you gonna leave me? And then I realized it was driving him insane, so I stopped doing it. Now I just think it in my head. But I can't imagine seeing someone go through what I go through with him, and him just being like, oh, I love her. She's so cute. Look at her getting angry, tearing up stuff, and setting it on fire. Like, I feel like that's what he thinks in his head half the time. And half the time, I will overreact over it. And Mr. Coffee is completely opposite of me. He is cool, calm, cucumber. Like, him and Orion gets it from him. But they're like almost emotionless. And just that alone upsets me, because I'm like, I want to have times where something doesn't bother me. Like, nothing bothers Mr. Coffee. He never gets overly excited about anything. He gets frustrated every once in a while, but he never really gets like angry to the point where like he wants to break stuff. Usually it's like some kind of vigilante justice he wants or something.
I'm gonna break stuff. It's planned out. It's premeditated.
No, I don't want to be an accomplice, so don't tell me about it. So yeah, so it's one of those things where I don't know what it's like for him. So let's ask him and see if he can talk loud enough that you guys can hear him. What is it like when I'm having one of my episodes when I'm upset and angry? And y'all gonna hear me vaping in this one, because this is a rough topic for me.
Part of the biggest reason I don't care and I don't have emotion towards anything is because of that. Because if I cared and I let it get to me, I'd be gone.
There you go. So,
I mean, like, I pretty much have to sit back and tell myself, yeah, it doesn't really matter, because I might as well have just made it up in my head because, like you said, it won't exist or it won't be like that 5 minutes from now, tomorrow, whenever. What makes it really hard now is even back when I was taking the trip, because, no offense, but your short-term memory isn't the greatest anymore. You have moments where you forget things. So now you're getting angry because you forgot that I told you something.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about now. I was like,
hello. Down my throat about it. And I was like, yep, sure, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. We'll deal with the other side of the spectrum in a couple hours. Have fun.
So, and that's the thing is, he's been here with me long enough to know that, oh, she's mad now. Give her 30 seconds. Watch. Like, it's like a switch goes off in my head. 1 minute, I'm literally going down his throat. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you guys have the best relationship. No, we don't.
No, not even close. That's literally... So it takes a lot to get under my skin in general, but that's been amplified tenfold as a defense mechanism just to get through the relationship. In the early days...
It was bad.
My exact thought, opinion, and feelings on everything was, I don't care anymore. Leave, stay, jump off a cliff, push me off the cliff. Don't even give a shit. Just make up your goddamn mind and stop jumping back and forth.
Okay, watch your language.
Oh, well.
Y'all, he's gonna get me flagged. So yeah, so him and I don't have, we didn't have the best relationship. It's probably, if we can probably agree, it's probably better now than it's been ever since we've been together. But I still have moments where I will jump down his throat and like a switch goes off and then I'm just like, oh, hi honey, I love you. And he's just like, yeah, I love you too. And don't worry for those folks that are like, oh my God, you know, they're shake. No, we're fine. We've been to counseling and everything. It's fine. This is how it works for us. So, yeah. So don't come at me talking about you're going to come take my husband because that was the early years of YouTube.
Good Lord.
But Mr. Coffee has dealt with this for so long that he has his own coping mechanisms to it. And like he said, he knows that even though I'm angry now, it'll change in like 5 minutes. What are you doing?
Gonna pee.
Oh, okay.
The solution is, don't care.
He cares. So yeah, so it's hard on both ends because he has to be, where he says it's just him not caring. It's him essentially having the understanding that I'm having an episode. That there's not really a whole lot that he can do about it. And if he took everything that I said personally, he probably would be gone. So it's up to him to go, okay, this is only temporary. You know, she's going to, and I always try to apologize to him, especially if I know I'm wrong. I will always try to apologize to him. Now, what he was talking about earlier about the trip was, there was a miscommunication about the trip. And as he said, my short-term memory has been affected by the stroke. So I don't remember all the things all the time. And I had gotten upset about something. I think it was, I thought he was coming home earlier than he did. And when he didn't, I flipped out because I was just like, I thought you were going to be home, blah, blah. And he's just like, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep. So he's, I don't know if he's numb to it or what, but he...
Pretty much.
He has his own way of dealing with it. Now, I usually will try to sit down and talk it out with him, which is something we never did in the past. In the past, we would just stop talking about it and it would go away. And believe me, I do not recommend that to anyone. Do not just not talk about issues if you have them. If you have problems, you talk them out. Because if nothing else I've learned in the last, I don't know, last 5 years, I'd say, of this marriage has been... Communication really is key. Marriage isn't something that you can just work on for a couple of months during that honeymoon phase and then just slack off. It's something that you have to work at every day. And a lot of the times, like, I will try to do nice things for Mr. Coffee just because I know everything he has to deal with on top of his job, being the only source of income and taking care of, you know, us here and himself, and, you know, now that we're trying to get a little bit more healthy and go to the doctor regularly, which is something we never really did before anyways, because apparently adulting was just too hard. it's a lot on his shoulders, and so I will have conversation with him about it. Like, we don't talk about it like every day. It's not like an everyday topic in our house, but I will have conversations with it about it, and we'll you know, get through the, you know, the problems that we're having, and we'll talk them out. And that's what really matters to me, and that's what helps me get through whatever it is I'm going through, is the fact that I can talk it out, settle it out with him, make everything good again. He'll tell me, you know, well, you know, next time don't do this. And a lot of times it's not that I'm trying to do it on purpose. I can't help it. And I hope that he actually realizes that I literally can't help it. There are times where I stick to him like glue. I get overly obsessed with him, and I'm just like, don't leave me. Don't, where you go. Like, I anytime he stands up, I'm like, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? And then there's times where I'm like, if you don't get away from me, I'm going to bury you out back with your own shovel. Like, get away from me. It's just kind of like everyday life stuff for me. But my mood swings are, that's something that never turns off. Never ever turns off. It's constantly, I'm happy 1 second, I'm mad. I can be sitting here happy as pie, diamond painting. He can be over there playing his game, minding his own business. I will remember something from like a week ago that upset me, and will get angry about it all over again. And then I don't take it out on him, but I'll sit here angry, fuming about it, and then have to talk myself out through in my own head about, you know, well, why are you still mad about this? Like, it's over. You already talked about it. Like, why are you still mad about this? Like, I wouldn't say I was mad about this, but I've been like harping on him about my car radio, because I can't stand being in my car right now because there's no radio. And I'm not getting mad that he wasn't doing what I asked him to do. I was getting annoyed. And then I realized he has other stuff that he needs to do, like his homework, which he's doing good in school, for those who are wondering, because I know you guys like to ask how he's doing in school. He just finished his second assignment.
Week 2, class 3.
Class 3?
Yeah.
Is this your third class already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you had the cool instructor guy for the first or the second class, and then the black chick for the first class. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he's doing good at school, for those wondering. But it's a very odd dynamic on how it works, but it works for us, and we work at this every day. And I work at trying not to be so manic with him. I work on trying not to take things out, and if I do, I make sure and try to make it a point to apologize. But it makes it that much harder at the fact that I suffered the stroke. So like he said, my short-term memory is affected, and where I don't see any issues with myself, like I feel like I'm back to normal.
It's once in a blue moon.
Once in a blue moon, apparently, I will forget things, and he's just like, "Are you freaking kidding me? Like, we just talked about this how long ago?" Like,
well, that's the first time it hasn't just been something like random and negligible, but.
So yeah, so it's one of those things where it's very dysfunctional, but it's kind of like organized chaos.
If you have a big enough puzzle, you'll find two pieces that damn near fit together, even if they ain't supposed to.
Are we the puzzle pieces, dear?
Yes. Our key is we do our own damn thing, and we just do it next to each other.
That's the other thing, is where a lot of folks, when I say I'm going to go spend time with my family, that doesn't necessarily mean we have to do stuff together all the time. He has his time, I have my time. As long as we're sitting next to each other, we call it shoulder time. I can talk to him whenever I want to talk to him about something. He can talk to me whenever he wants to talk to me about something. He can show me stuff. What are you messing with? Stickers? But he can show me stuff. He can talk to me. I can show him stuff and talk to him. We're spending time together without having to necessarily do stuff together. We do randomly do stuff together, but for the most part, we're pretty content doing our own things. And it's a very odd dynamic if you're not in it. So please, if you don't understand it, don't, oh my God, I don't understand how you live like that. It's not an easy way to live, but it works for us.
Yeah, so other people don't need to understand. It's literally what gets us through it. It kind of ties in back to the whole people thinking they can take other people away. Good luck, because ain't nobody going to offer me anything that I can't have elsewhere. Like, my thing is, if it wasn't for our relationship and everything else, I'd be alone. I like being alone and doing my own damn thing. Well, I get to do that enough times. The times that we have where we do a few things together, they're nice and they're fun. If she's angry at me, well, I'm pretty much sitting here doing my own damn thing, nothing else really going on. So, it ain't too far different. You can't sweat the little things in life. You can't let stuff get under your skin and bug you for no apparent reason. So, I'm a pretty logical, rational person. If I'm in a spot where she's angry because of something that's not really logical or rational in my mind, but it makes sense to her and she's angry about it, okay, so be it.
So as you guys can tell, no, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Mr. Coffee, he probably babies you about your, no, he does not. Mr. Coffee does not baby me. Mr. Coffee is one of the few people in this world that can get me to shut up when I'm talking. And it's
real easy. All you do is go, hey, shut up.
He very rarely tells me to shut up. But one of the things that stuck with me whenever we were in counseling was I was talking, and the counselor had asked him a question. He started talking, and then I immediately cut him off and started talking over him. The counselor then looks at me and goes, "Do you ever shut up?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And of course, me being me.
Oh, I smiled so damn hard.
Me being me, I was just like, "Excuse me?" He goes, "How is he supposed to talk through things with you if you never shut up?" And it took me a few minutes because I was mad because he told me that he asked me why, do you ever shut up? I was offended. And then I thought about it. He's right. Every time Mr. Coffee would try to talk, I would not let him talk and I would talk over him.
But then she'd be upset because I never talked about anything.
Because if I want to talk to you about something and I start talking to you and then I go, well, what do you think? I don't know. Ah!
Well, I can't know anything if I open my mouth to say a word. And the early days, it was a lot of, she would want to talk about something. I'd go to give my input. She'd cut me off because she knew how it was. She knew what I was thinking. She knew how it should be. And if I didn't agree with that, then it didn't matter and I couldn't say anything otherwise. So what was the point of having the conversation? You just took care of both sides all by yourself.
So for those folks that are like, Miss Coffee's just really mean am I mean all the time to you?
No.
So I don't.
And that's the thing, like when we did counseling and everything else, that was one of the big changing points because again, you actually learned to shut up and let me talk and say something. Because that was my biggest complaint in the early days, and I've told you that is I can't get a word in edgewise. And even if I do, if it contradicts what you say or think, then it doesn't matter. I would have a better conversation with a brick wall. Because at least I could say what I was thinking.
So yeah, so there's that. So yeah, because I know a lot of people seem to think that Mr. Coffee.
I gotta say this too, because it's my favorite phrase in the world. I have gotten yelled at for things she thinks I thought.
I agree.
Process that one.
I agree. I will get mad at him for things I think he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Look, listen, I love you. Anywho, so I know a lot of people are like, he has to be like so understanding, and he is to a fault. But like I tell people, you can't use your mental health to justify being an asshole in a way, I guess I want to say it. If I'm being mean to him or taking something out on him, he fully holds me responsible. And, you need to take responsibility for the fact that you did this. I don't care what's going on. You did this. You said this. You need to take responsibility for that. And I've learned over the years that he's right. I can't just go, oh, I'm going to be a butthole, but don't worry, I'm bipolar. That doesn't solve anything.
Oh, don't worry. I'm vindictive to the core.
Very.
So I just smile, plot, and flip the script.
And that's the thing, too, is that a lot of the times whenever I am upset about something, and it's usually like I'll get upset at him for not having the answer I want him to have, and he'll be like, what do you want me to say? And then I tell him, I don't want to tell you what I want to hear. I want you to tell me what you're thinking. And
but you don't want to hear what I'm thinking.
Okay, so
I'm gonna tape a mirror to my face. A tape recorder attached to the bottom.
But it's not easy living with me. It takes a special type of person to be able to handle all of this and still be laughing and smiling. What now?
I need a soundboard fund.
You do not need a soundboard fund.
What do you want me to say? Boop. There you go. How about this one?
So for those folks that don't hear Mr. Coffee talk much, he does talk when he wants to. And I did ask him to be on here, and like me, Mr. Coffee is honest to...
And then she tried to get rid of me.
I didn't try to get rid of you. Your boss asked you to do something, so I was like, why don't you do it today so you don't have to worry about doing it later?
No, I was wanting to do it today so you don't have to sit here and deal with me recording.
Well, I didn't know, because I don't know how comfortable you are with me recording. You know what? So yeah, so it's not easy living with me. What now?
No.
You over there. I don't like the way you're smiling right now. You're thinking I'm insane right now, aren't you?
No.
Yes, you are.
No.
Look here. It's not confirmed. Anywho. So no, Mr. Coffee does not hold punches when it comes to my disorder. It is not easy living with this disorder. There are times where people will... And it's hard doing YouTube because a lot of the times I will get questions that will irritate the crap out of me. And it will make me super angry. Especially like if, like, say I do a video on a certain diamond painting tip. What's wrong?
Do YouTube on the toilet.
YouTube on the toilet?
If it irritates the crap out of you, it's got a place to go.
Shut up. Oh my God. Dad jokes much? Y'all, once you get him talking, I'm telling you, he doesn't stop. Anywho, it's one of those things. Imagine you tell someone, okay, this is how you do this. A, B, C. And then you have three people that go, well, how do you do B? I explained it. A, B, C. This is how you do this, that, this. Follow A first, B second, C third. And then imagine 3 or 4 people coming up to you going, so C first, then A, then B. And then you're like, no, A, B, C. And they go, so B, C, A. No, A, B, C.
Elemental Q.
And that's, dealing with that on a daily basis, a lot of the times, it will get me to a point where I get frustrated and irritated. So please... I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just how my brain is wired. I will get irritated and essentially I will have to, I'll heart the comment and just move on, or I won't heart anything and I'll just get off YouTube. Even dealing with people when they ask me questions. If they ask me like very obvious questions like, who do you share, like I've actually had people ask me this, who do you share a group with? What? So, for those of you who don't know, I have a group, Crafters Anonymous, with Miss Crochet and Coffee and Rachel Ray. It's our group. So, and I know a lot of times I say my group, but it's our group. It belongs to Rachel and myself. And we both run the group. We both make the decisions about the group. We are supported by Diamond Art Club, but Rachel and I have the final say on anything that happens in the group. And I will get people all the time that ask me, who do you share a group with? Oh, by the way, that lady you share a group with, I follow her too. Rachel? It's Rachel. Her name is Rachel. So, and then there's times where I'm severely depressed. That was like last week. Last week, I spent the entire week in a manic depressive state. I was on and off crying all week, and I'm not one to cry. If I cry and you're near me, it's one of those things, and I know a lot of you can relate to this. If I'm crying, if you see me crying, and you're in the vicinity that I'm in and I'm crying, that's when you need to run for your life because I'm probably going to set something on fire.
Can't put this on for copyright, but run.
When I'm upset, I like to have that space because it gives me time to kind of rope in those emotions, get them all out, and then deal with the situation as it is. And when I'm constantly, like, that's one of the reasons why I was so irritated about all the messages. Normally, I don't have a problem with it. I get close to 100 messages a day in all varieties. I've had people ask me what What vape rig do I have? What kind of dogs do I have? You know, how old is my husband? How can my husband stand being around me? He can't half the time. I ain't gonna lie. Half the time he's just like, something seriously wrong with this woman. I need to get out. Y'all seen that movie Get Out? I'm just joking. But it's one of those things where when I get in a mood where I know I shouldn't be interacting with people, I will ask for space. Doesn't happen often enough for me to ask my subscribers for space. But even when I'm with Mr. Coffee, I'll be like, I just don't want to talk about it right now. He knows that's my cue for let her alone. Let her deal with whatever it is that is bothering her, and she will come at me about it later. Also, with the insomnia comes bad dreams. Now, I am a child of a lot of child trauma. I suffer from separation anxiety due to the fact that my mom left when I was little, and some other traumas that I dealt with that I don't want to go into on my channel. And so, dealing with all of that, and I do go to counseling, not as much as I used to. I go now, I don't even go. My counselor that I had in Pennsylvania will call and check up on me and see how me and Mr. Coffee are doing. I've gone to a couple of sessions with Mr. Coffee with her. She likes us, we like her. So she will call in maybe once a month, or she'll message me once a month and ask me how I'm doing. And I'm like, you know, well, I'm having this issue. Could you help me figure out this issue? I still seek counseling. If I have a major problem, I will message her and I know she will help. So it's not like at any time, like when Mr. Coffee was gone, I think, what was it? Wednesday, I had a really bad anxiety attack because I'm also a creature of habit. And when something breaks that habit, I freak out. My brain just goes into overload, and it's like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And when I didn't post last week, I didn't post, what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So for 4 days last week, you guys didn't get videos. My Patreons didn't even get videos. They got a video on Saturday. But I didn't post any videos. And it's not like me to not post videos. Because even when I had my stroke, I still posted videos. When I'm sick, I still post videos. There's not a whole lot of interaction between me and everybody else, but I will still post. So just know that it had to have been really bad for me to not only not post, but not make any kind of interaction with anybody for the most part. So Monday through Friday, I was in just complete whatever. I didn't do I don't think I did any crafting. And what I did was very minimal. A lot of the times I will just sit here and stare off into space, or I will go sit and stare off into space with the kids while they're playing games. And I have to I have to talk myself off the mental ledge, as I like to call it. And it was just severe depression and it hit like a ton of bricks. Like, they pulled away. Maggie was upset. Now, when they left Monday morning, afternoonish. Which, did you guys get her North Dakota shirt? Did I hear you say you got her North Dakota shirt?
We got that Sunday.
Oh, did you get it Sunday? Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure. When Minna comes up, we're trying to make it a tradition that we get her a new North Dakota shirt whenever she comes up, so she has a shirt that says, you know, North Dakota on it, something to remember us by. Not that she can't forget it, or she's going to forget us or anything, but just to give her something to remember us by. And it's always hard for me because I don't have my daughter here with me. And if you're wondering why my daughter doesn't live with me, I will post the whipping chat that I did with her, and she answers that question. So, for those folks that are just like, oh my God, Miss Coffee's a bad mom. I get that a lot, actually. I can't tell you how many brave keyboard warriors are out there that are quick to tell me that I am a bad mom. And I'm like, look, listen, I'm not a bad mom. I'm a good mom, but people see it as me being a bad mom. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, it's I know my life. Not everything about my life is put out there in the world. So, yeah. And I tell people all the time, I'm a normal person. I don't have a perfect marriage. I don't pretend to have a perfect marriage because Mr. Coffee, just as much as I irritate the piss out of him, he irritates the piss out of me. What do you mean, nah? Oh, okay, nah. He's saying that now. I'll stab him in the esophagus. Wait, shush.
You said it.
Either way. It's kind of one of those things where my bipolar disorder isn't something that I can turn off and on. And when I have those mood swings, they're heightened. So where a normal person would get upset about something like say, okay, so say Mr. Coffee walks the dog. Now, if you walk the dog in the morning, when we walk the dogs in the morning, I will feed and water the dogs when I get back from walking them. So they have fresh water to drink after they get back from their walk. Mr. Coffee didn't do it one day, and I stayed mad at him all day because he didn't fill the dog's water dish. But I was mad all day. Now, I didn't sit there and I wasn't snappy with him all day for it. But in my mind, I was still mad at him. So it's kind of like my brain, like this whipping chat, is all over the place. It does affect my everyday life. It does affect how I do things. It also gives me hyperactivity, which means I'm hyperactive. Meaning I like to do a lot of things really quickly. It's another reason why I can finish diamond painting so quickly, besides using the multiplacer. It's another reason why a lot of the stuff I do quickly, because I like to get things done. And when I have something pending, like, it's another reason why I'm scared to do the Etsy shop thing with my Cricut stuff, is because I'm always afraid that I'm not going to be quick enough. And this weekend, which, by the way, thanks to the folks who helped me destash this weekend. So this weekend, I decided I was going to destash. By destash, I meant I was going to sell off some of my kits. Now, we are finding out that Mr. Coffee possibly might have to have back surgery. If he does, from what I remember hearing about other people's spouses having to have back surgery, he could be out somewhere up near 6 months. So I'm trying to essentially see what I can and can't do to help, you know, bring in extra money just in case something does happen, because he finds out on Wednesday. He finds out on Wednesday whether or not he has to have back surgery. Now, we're not exactly sure how he hurt his back, but I don't remember exactly what's wrong with it. I don't remember. Something about
2 herniated discs, 2 slip discs, and my L1 is bulging against the nerve root.
So all that, if you heard that, is what's wrong with him. And so they're thinking possible surgery is needed. So if possible surgery is needed, I need to be able to hustle here at the house, because I can't just go out and get a regular job. One, because of having the bipolar disorder, technically I'm supposed to be on disability. I refuse to collect the funds for it because I'm like, there are people in this world that are worse off than I am just because I can't hold my tongue. So
They'll be worse off when you open your mouth.
they will be worse off. Shut up. So
let them pay ya. Screw it.
No, I feel like I would be taking advantage of the government if I collected unemployment. Now, that's not to say that I don't think people with mental health issues shouldn't collect disability. That varies depending on your situation. I'm one of these people that I was raised on hard work, and I can have a regular job and I can function at a regular job, but it's the anger issues that I have, and it's not brutal honesty, but for the most part, a lot of people see it as me coming off as being rude or stuck up or snobby, and I don't want to be seen that way. And so I've been a stay-at-home mom for, oh God, what's the last job I had?
I don't know. It's been a minute or two.
It has been a minute. When was the last job I had? Oh, I worked at the diaper factory.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I worked at a factory making, well, I didn't make the diapers, obviously. I did quality control for Target diapers and Walmart diapers and whatever. But I worked at a diaper factory.
You try them out?
No, I did not. They did have adult diapers. But no, I didn't try them out. But we did get discounts on diapers. Even though my children were already out of diapers. I digress. So it's one of those things where it does affect my everyday life. I try my best, and I know a lot of people seem to think that I have a great handle on this, and I try to tell you guys over and over again, I do not. I am just an everyday person, and no, the person you're seeing whenever I'm doing videos is not a fake person. That's just who I am at that moment. That can quickly change as soon as I turn the camera off. But I'm usually in a state of manic, which for me, when I'm in a manic mode, it usually makes me super hyperactive, and I want to do all the things all at once, and it's like you're on a treadmill but you're actually going somewhere and doing something and being productive. So, like...
Now I'm saying it's another Manic Monday in my head.
Why are you... Y'all, sometimes Mr. Coffee... So, yeah, so when I tell you guys that I'm normal, it's one of the reasons why I have to try to keep positive thoughts in my head at all times. I can't let little stupid things bother me because it will set me into a tailspin that I can't get myself out of. When I'm upset about something, I can't just stop being upset. Most people can just stop being upset. I can't. I physically have tried to not be angry about stuff all day and cannot do it. I will make myself physically ill trying. So it's hard on me to try to be, I guess, what people would consider normal, because I'm not normal. I have bipolar disorder, I am colorblind, and I'm constantly getting grilled on that. Which, the funny thing is, being colorblind is one of the only disabilities that you can have that people will go, they'll test your ability of your disability. When I say that, I mean, they'll just be like, but how are you colorblind? Like, you never see somebody in a wheelchair and go, but how paraplegic are you? Can you just not move your legs, or can you just not move your whole body? When you're colorblind, people are more like, so you can't see colors. And no matter how many times you tell them, you can see colors, just not all of them are the correct color. So what do you see? I don't know, because I don't know what I see versus what you see. I know what I should be seeing, because I'm constantly being told, like, if I'm playing something with the kids, and I pick up a wrong color, they are quick to tell me, Mom, that's not even the right color. The only problem with that is we found out, too, that Orion was colorblind. Orion has the same color issue as Paw, so he's blue-gray colorblind, whereas I'm red-green colorblind. So... call them issues. And as a good friend of mine used to say, if you got an issue, get a tissue. So, yeah, like, it's something I work at every day. It's one of the reasons why I keep positivity around me, and I try to block out all the negative energy. It's not because I'm disconnected from the world. It's because I know how my emotions work. In any tip of the iceberg, I can be mellow. And then when I'm sad, it's not just like, you know, oh, I feel really bad. No, I'm super sad. But then when I'm happy, I'm super happy. But then when I'm mad, I'm super mad. Like, it's like my brain is like, you're going to do the mostest with your emotions. We're going to be super extra with every emotion you have at any time. And it's not something that I would, you know, say is fun for me. Because, you know, knowing that I can sometimes upset my husband over something stupid doesn't bring me joy. Super duper. It doesn't bring me joy to upset my husband. It doesn't bring me joy to, you know, act. And when it comes to like parenting and stuff, oh, forget about it. Like, I literally constantly am having to step back from the kids whenever I'm doing stuff, just so I don't overreact and like lash out at them. So I try to, I'm very self-aware of the fact that I have this issue, and when I can feel myself, like, it's kind of like you get revved up, and I get revved up and I can feel it coming on, I will step back and let all that out, like whether I'm like screaming into a pillow or eating a snack or something, like I will just let out all that emotion and try to go back at it with a level head. And I think for the most part, I would have to say I feel like I feel like I handle it a lot better now than I did in my past. Would you say that I'm better now than I was when we first started?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so I feel like I'm a lot better now than I was when I first got with Mr. Coffee, because we were a hot mess whenever we first got together. Like, it was bad. No communication, constantly fighting. Like, oh, I think every week we were calling it. We were just like, we're getting divorced. Forget this. I don't want to do this. These were hot. Y'all, somebody come get them. Oh my God. So yeah, it's something I battle with every day. I try not to show it on the channel because you guys don't come here to see me have manic episodes of depression. Where like I said, I don't mind talking about it. I don't want to be I don't like being psychoanalyzed. And it seems like every time I get into a disagreement with a subscriber or another creator, they always bring up my mental health. And I'm like, why do y'all do that? I don't think you realize how much that irritates the piss out of me. I don't use my mental health as a crutch, and I don't expect other people to do it either. I expect you to hold me accountable for things that I've done. And this is the life I chose because I'm not medicated. So, yeah. So that is essentially a whole hour's worth of getting Mr. Coffee's honest input into it. And I am not one to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to sit here and tell him, okay, well, you could only say nice things. Now, I told him not to be a dick. But I was like, I'm not going to be like, you can only say nice things. You can't say mean things. I wanted him to be honest with you guys so that you guys can see. It's not that I'm nice all the time or I'm always happy-go-lucky. I am for the most part. I'm pretty chill for the most part, but there are those times when I'm not, and it flips and can switch on and off at the blink of an eye. I try to control it the best I can, and this is the life I chose for myself because I choose to go unmedicated. Can I go back to the doctor and get medication? Yes, I can. Do I want to? No, I don't. I would rather try to deal with it on my own until it becomes an issue where I honestly am concerned about the welfare of my children or my marriage. I don't see me going to get medication for this anytime soon. So I think I do a pretty good job of handling myself with the kids and my husband. We have our own way of working things out, and it works for us. Every relationship is different, and things are going to work for you that don't work in other relationships, and it's fine. We're okay with it. I'm happy. He's happy. We're happy. So, off of the heavy. We'll give you a little bit of... What? You what?
Happy go happy.
Happy go happy. So, off with all the heavy stuff. So, I hope you guys had a great week while I was out. I do want to say thank you to guys for giving me the space that I needed to get my head together, because like I said, I was in a glass box of emotions. It was just all over the place all day, every day, and I didn't want to record videos. And then, because Minna, for those folks who don't know, Minna does watch my channel, and Minna has, you know, she's been my child for the last 14 years. So she knows when mommy's upset. She can tell when mommy's mad. She can tell, you know, what my emotion is depending on the demeanor of my voice. And I didn't want to make a bunch of depressing videos. Like, I didn't want to make the Drake equivalent of YouTube videos and have her be like, Mom, what's wrong? Or have her think, you know, Mommy's really upset that I left. I feel like I don't want her to feel guilty for going back to where she was at or going back home. So I chose not to upload anything that week. And like I said, the video you guys would have seen Monday, which would have been the unboxing of FG Normal. That unboxing was recorded right before, like, that was recorded Saturday before she left. So that's why it wasn't like I was sad or depressed or anything. It literally was recorded. I'm pretty sure she was probably sitting on the couch when I recorded it. Because when she was here and I would record, she essentially would just sit on the couch and watch me record. So it was a very emotional goodbye with Minna this time. I don't know what's so different about this time versus the first time she was here. The first time I felt like a worthless parent because we weren't able to do a whole lot, whereas this time we did a lot, and she had a lot of fun relaxing with us. And even though we're quarantined in the house, we you know, just made the best of being in the house, and you know, she had a good time. We had a good time having her. And don't worry, for those folks that are sad that she's gone, she'll be back again next summer. We're going to try to have her come out every summer until she gets a job. And then when she gets a job, we'll have to play it by ear, just because most jobs won't let you have a month off of work just to go visit your mommy. So here we go. Mr. Coffee, as you can tell, is very upset that Minna is gone. He handles things differently than I do. So, like, whereas I'm upset crying about stuff, Mr. Coffee is more level-headed about it, and he's kind of like that voice of reason for me, which is why this works so well for me, because, you know, I need that voice of reason to tell me, hey, you're overreacting to this. Hey, you know, this is how, you know, this is how you should be, you know, getting over this, or, you know, doing this. And it's not so much like, he doesn't make me feel like I'm broken. And that's the biggest thing, is he doesn't make me feel like I'm broken. And I love and appreciate him for the fact that he doesn't treat me any differently because I have this disorder. And even though we've had our bad times, we always find a way to, you know, do things to make the other person happy. So I'm grateful for him for that. He's like my medication, and that's one of the reasons why I personally don't do well when he's not around, because then I feel like that good side of me is not there. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't need Mr. Coffee to do these things for me. I can do them for myself. I'm a very independent person when I want to be. I want Mr. Coffee here. That's the difference that a lot of people, when I tell them about how this works for us, that they don't understand, is that I don't need him. I want him here. If I needed him here, then that would be a problem, because you shouldn't be that dependent on somebody. And I don't depend on him to make me happy. I depend on myself to make me happy, and he can just add to that little slice of cake by making me happy doing little stupid things. Like when he makes me muffins.
My own expense.
I love when he makes me muffins, and you know, I will randomly do things nice for him. Like, you know, we just got him. No, what am I thinking?
I'd like to know what I just got.
No, you didn't get anything.
I know I didn't.
Shut up. Like, I like trying to make and do things that will make him happy. Like yesterday, I'm like, you know, he's really stressed out about class because I think he was like reaching the deadline for his assignment to be turned in, and he was stressing out really bad about it. And I was like, well, let me walk the dogs for the last walk of the night, and you do your homework. And he was like, fine. And then there was a miscommunication about dinner, and he's like, are you cooking dinner or am I cooking dinner? I'm like, I thought you were cooking dinner. We had to go through that whole debacle, and then he was just like, I'll cook, it's fine. I'm like, well, I'll walk the dogs for the last walk of the night so that you can sit and focus on your homework. So I do like to try to do little things for him, and if I can buy him little things, I will. But for the most part, Mr. Coffee has very expensive taste. So it's not like I can just go on Amazon and buy him something cute and fun, and, you know, he'd love it. Now, he'd love anything I get him because, you know, like I said, little things, you know, add up. But it's not so much, well, he has to be around or I'm not a happy person. No, he can be gone and I can still be a happy person. He's gone most of the time anyways, except for on his days off. On his days off, he's here, but when he's at work, I'm not sitting here like all sad and depressed and, oh, when is he coming home? Well, no, it's not like that. So for those folks that were wondering about the bipolar disorder, because I get that question a lot, but I never like to answer it because I always feel like people are trying to psychoanalyze me, and people have this innate ability to want to fix things that they think are broken. And like oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times I've been contacted by people and they've asked me, have you seen the Enchroma glasses? Would you be interested? Have you ever thought about this? And I'm like, no, because I don't see myself as broken. That's one of the things I guess that is bad, is that I always feel like when people want to try to help me, it's because they think that I'm broken in some way. And I'm like, I'm not broken. I can do things, but for some reason my brain goes, they think something's wrong with you and that you need some kind of help. So that's why, one of the reasons why I get defensive about a lot of things, and especially like if I'm talking to you and you're like, and I've had people do this where they're like, oh, well, no wonder you're always so super, you know, this way or that way, because you're bipolar. Do you know that if you're bipolar, and then they try to psychoanalyze things I've said in my videos, or, oh, I could tell you were really manic in this video the other day, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, please don't do that. Because the worst thing you can do to somebody who suffers from mental illness is continuously point out the mental illness. Just a heads up. It's the same as if, okay, say you lost your leg. Okay? And then every time somebody saw you, they went, where's your leg? Well, you know, they have prosthetics. Have you ever thought about it? Like, that's them trying to fix you, and where it comes off with good intentions, sometimes it's not received with good intentions. Sometimes it's received as, oh, you think something's broken or wrong with me, I can't be proud of the fact that I am the way I am, you have to fix me. And that's not the case. So, just please, please, for the love of all that is holy, please don't try to psychoanalyze it. It won't make sense to you. It barely makes sense to me half the time. And I live with it every day. So I try my best to be better than I was the previous day, just so that I'm not, you know, driving my family to complete insanity.
I don't need any help with that.
No, you don't need any help with that. You're doing just fine on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like, it's just one of those things where we have been dealing with this aspect of me, and it's who makes me me. If I wasn't bipolar, do you think you would still be here? Is that a weird question to ask?
Yeah.
Like, if I was normal.
Okay.
I don't think he would know what to do with himself if I was like a normal person. Like, if I didn't have like the drastic mood swings, and like the insomnia is the part that he doesn't really see that part too much, because he has no problem sleeping. He is one of those people, like, I don't know if anybody else's spouse is like this. He's one of those people that as soon as his head hits the pillow, he's out. He sleep. Immediately. Sleep. Me, I will sit there, toss, turn, flip across the bed, all this, you know, doing gymnastics and doing apple jacks and everything else, and it's still like, or jumping jacks. I said apple jacks.
You sure did.
But I'll be like doing all this stuff, and I can't sleep, and he's over there snoring his head off. It's one of those things too where it's a good thing though, because I try to find the good in all bad situations. So like whenever I'm having insomnia, I try to get stuff done that I wouldn't have gotten done during the day because of like kids and whatever. So there's that. So yeah, so for those folks that were wondering about what it's like being Miss Coffee with mental health issues, it's hard. It's very hard because you have, especially on YouTube, you have a lot of people that are critiquing everything that you do. There are people that are telling you the right and wrong things that you're doing, the right and wrong things that people constantly correcting you. And you, in a certain mindset, I can see those as all being personal attacks. In a rational mindset, I'm like, oh, well, like, okay, perfect example, you guys. Pence and pounds. Now, I know when, like, Cal says it's £4.99. She doesn't say cents afterwards. She says 99. She just says 99. That's how people, I guess, in the UK, and I believe Cal's in Wales. So that's how people over there say their money. Whereas in the US, we go, it's $25.86. Other places are like, it's £4.99. I can't tell you how many people will comment. It's not called squid. It's called pence. And they will tell me how they say it in there. And I still, my brain, again, the short-term memory, I don't remember how they tell me to say it. And I end up messing it up for the next video because then it'll be so long since I've done a video with pounds that I won't remember it from the previous video. So, I feel like the month of July and August have been just really in-depth conversations about my life. I'm not sure how I feel about this. But on top of like the mood swings and constant paranoia and everything else I deal with, I have slight OCD about things and how I like things done. And if they're not done the way that I like them done, I will redo them the way I do it. There was a time there when the kids were little where Mr. Coffee, I would have Mr. Coffee give the kids a bath. And then I would think to myself, he didn't wash them good enough. So then I would re-bathe them, which is probably one of the reasons why Orion developed eczema. You ever been accused of taking too good care of your kids? I have. My doctor was like, please stop washing this kid. You're literally tearing the oils out of his skin. He's developing eczema. You're doing a great job, but you're doing a little bit, you need to tone it down just a little bit. So, it's another reason why whenever I go off on somebody, if they still talk to me afterwards, I have a lot of respect for them because that means that they can handle me at my worst and they deserve me at my best. So, it's hard. And you guys know Miss Coffee don't hold punches back on anything. So, I hope this whip and chat wasn't too heavy for you. I'm not going to keep you guys much longer because I do have other things I need to do, like feed the kids lunch and all that other fun stuff. So, there you have it, folks. A look into my brain with mini commentary from Mr. Coffee. Life isn't perfect for me. I know a lot of people think it is. It's not. I do have high times and then I have really low times. And living with me is not a cakewalk. Dealing with me on a daily basis is not a cakewalk. So, you know, it's kind of a mixed bag with me. I'm a real person. I'm real on my videos. I'm real in real life. If you met me in real life, it'll be just as crazy as it is now. So, with that said, again, thank you guys so much for watching. One of these days, we will get back to like a normal whip and chat. But people keep asking me questions about myself, and I'm like, I am an enigma, and like trying to open the Pandora box of my brain, good luck to you. But since you guys have seemed to be so interested in my life and how I, you know, do things and work around my many ailments, I am happy to share those with you. Again, please be kind with your comments, because this was something that was very hard for me to do. I actually just paused the camera and said that I thought I should re-record it because I thought I was getting too rambly. But this is how my brain works on a normal basis. This is how I normally am whenever I'm not, you know, telling you guys funny stories about the kids and stuff, which don't worry, I'll probably do that in live on Friday. I have plenty to tell you. It's just my brain's all over the place, and I want you guys to realize, just because I do YouTube and you guys, some of you guys might see me as a celebrity, I am not a celebrity. I'm an everyday person that has everyday struggles. I fight with my husband. We fight each other. We, you know, yell and scream, and, you know, we fuss at our kids, and we take care of each other and take care of our household, and we do the same things that everybody else does. So that's one of the reasons why when people are like, well, you're a celebrity, I'm like, I am not a celebrity. I'm an everyday type person. So yeah. But with that said, folks, I'm seriously going to let you go now because I keep rambling. But thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this little look into my brain and it didn't scare the crap out of you. Hopefully, Mr. Coffee giving you his honest opinion about things. Don't worry, we're fine. Because I just know somebody's going to be like, sounds like Mr. Coffee has depression or something. Or Mr. Coffee is fine. I'm fine. We're fine. Are you fine? He's fine-ish. Ish. So, with that said, folks, if you're new to the channel and would like to see more random, crazy videos just like this, usually they're a lot funnier than this, but if you want to see more videos, you know, that are completely random and funny, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. But with that said, folks, I really must bid you adieu. But not before reminding you, wash your hands, don't touch your face, keep your 6 feet.
It's random. I'm going to pause the video. I think you should re-record this. It's too random.
Well, yeah.
Random!
I overthink things sometimes. And we're going to say thank you and goodbye to our special guest, Mr. Coffee. Say bye, Mr. Coffee.
Random equals new random.
Say bye. Bye. Mr. Coffee says bye. You want to give them a little action to get them through the week?
Oh, yeah. I guess I probably could have, should have, maybe ought to done that.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. But always try to remember to be kind, be courteous, be cool. Oh, Jesus. Sorry.
Thumbs up.
Okay, try it again. Give a little thumbs up. Yeah. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.